Well, former Tottenham striker Jermain Defoe has also backed Postecoglou and says he's done a good job.
Yeah, Defoe believes that Tottenham's great start to the season raised expectations, but if they finish fifth, it will have been a good first year for Postecoglou at the club.
When you first come in, I think one of the first things you have to deal with is, how do you replace someone like Harry Kane? I don't think you can. And I think if you would have spoke to a lot of Spurs fans or football people in general, and you would have said, okay, then Tottenham will finish fifth, I think a lot of people would have been like, okay, that's a good season. I think that's a good season. Getting to Europe, that's a decent season. I think because we started so well, then the expectations there. It was an amazing start. Without obviously being biased, and that was when you look at Tottenham this season. In my opinion, one of the best teams to watch in terms of how they play, the amount of chances to create, how they dominate the ball. If you're thinking about stats. And that's what the manager wanted. When he first came in and he spoke about his principles, the players have done that. And I think the new signings have been good. I think any team at some stage, you're going to have moments where, it's not going to plan. You're not at that level. It's normal because then you get injuries. And when your injuries come back, you need those injuries to sort of get to the level. That's not always easy. So I think it's normal, to be honest. But I think overall, when you look at the job that he's done, I think he's done a good job.
Well, Jermain Defoe also told us of his burning ambition to become a manager and how he hasn't been put off by the lack of black managers in the game. Yeah,
Defoe also revealed that he hasn't had any contact regarding the vacant manager's job at his former club, Sunderland.
Just because I played for 23 years at the top level, there's no guarantees that you're going to be a top coach. So I think it's important to do your apprenticeship, if you like, and learn as much as you can from, experienced coaches that have coached and managed for years, and I've done that at Tottenham.
Can you just clear up that there's been plenty of reports about Sunderland and your links to Sunderland? Obviously, you've got a great history with the club. Have you applied for the managerial job? Have you had an interview? Have you had talks? What's happened?
No, I've not had an interview. I don't think there's much to say on it, really. I think when people look at the affiliation with the club, and obviously there as a player, an amazing relationship with the fans, and obviously the Bradley Lowry story, I think a lot of people have said to me that, it makes sense you coming back as manager, and we understand that you're coaching at Tottenham and you've spoke about this, you've got your team ready. So I think that's sort of been the conversation that I've had with people. But in terms of an interview, I've not had an interview. Of course, if you said to me now, would you want to be the Sunderland manager in the future, why not? I suppose if you ask, I don't know, a John O'Shea or someone that's played for Sunderland that's gone into coaching, of course, eventually you would love to manage a football club of that size, because I think if you say no, then you're probably in the wrong game.
Jermain, you will have noticed that some black managers and players have voiced concerns about opportunities that they're getting in coaching roles and managerial roles. Is that something you've noticed? Is it something that you're fearful of?
The reason why people ask this question is because I think the numbers are there to see, really. Is it 4.4% or something like that? But again, Dom, I do feel like everyone's journey is different. It'll be hard for me to comment because obviously I've not had an interview. Hopefully, touch wood, I'll get an interview and get a job soon. Of course, there's been players that have come out and they've sort of voiced their concerns of sort of doing all the hard work that I've done and then really not really getting an opportunity. But I would like to think that at some stage I'll get my opportunity. And like I said, when I get the opportunity, I need to do well, because not just because I'm black, but I just feel like the way the game is now, it's based on results. If you don't get results, then you're not going to keep your job. It's as simple as that. So I know what I'm getting into.